Welcome to this 34th Alzheimer Europe Conference, New Horizons, Innovating for Dementia. My name is Jean-Georges, I'm the Executive Director of Alzheimer Europe, and I'm here to open this conference together with my colleague Stefanie Becker, who is the Executive Director of Alzheimer Switzerland.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Jean-Georges. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, dear participants, dear colleagues, dear friends. Bon après-midi, chers collègues, chers amis und einen schönen Nachmittag und willkommen, liebe Kolleginnen und Kollegen, liebe Freunde. On behalf of Alzheimer Switzerland and its 21 cantonal sections, it's really an absolute pleasure for me to welcome all of you here for the 34th Alzheimer Europe Conference in Switzerland, in Geneva. Geneva is well known for its international collaboration, a symbol of international collaboration, so it couldn't be a better place to meet today as we do here. And it's really a great pleasure to be here, and the view from here alone is really absolutely impressive. And if I hadn't been already nervous, I would have been now, clearly, that's for sure. And now I know why you like doing all these conferences, honestly, it's really great. So, but before we start our journey to the conference, I'd like to welcome our distinguished guests from two of our Swiss authorities who honor us with their presence today. The first one is Salome von Greyerz. She's head of healthcare and related professions division at the Federal Office of Public Health, and also Pierre Maudet. He is State Councillor of the Republic of Geneva, and he will join us hopefully in a few more minutes. The presence of you is very, very great that you are here, and thank you for being here. Before we invite you to the stage, we'll have some information about the conference, right?
Also, a big welcome from my side. So Stefanie had the honor of welcoming all our Swiss guests. For me, also to welcome all our international guests. Of course, I would like to highlight Marjolein van der Vugt from the INTERDEM network, a network of psychosocial researchers that we are particularly happy with collaborating. Also, of course, this is the Alzheimer Europe Conference, so we're very honored to have representatives from the national Alzheimer's organizations across Europe. But we're also a very unique organization because we have two fantastic working groups. You'll hear more about them later. But we have the European Working Group of people living with dementia who are very active participants in this conference, and also the European Dementia Carers Working Group. And I would like to particularly welcome both of these groups. And before starting, I also wanted to give some housekeeping rules. One of the housekeeping rules, of course, is that we have a conference app. So you will probably see the slide where you can download the conference app. It's an app that will allow you to look at the program online. It will also allow you to connect to other participants and delegates. So if you want to do that, you can either download it for your Apple phone or for your Android phone.
Yes, and in the spirit of multilingualism in Switzerland, we offer also live translation into French and German for all the plenary sessions here also in this room throughout the conference. So you'll find the headphones, the headsets on your seat, and feel free to slip them on and to listen to the talks in your preferred language. And for all our English-speaking guests, of course, you won't miss a word of the welcoming session today. English translation is offered as well.
And then also a note also just on the topic that we're having here today. So we're talking about New Horizon, Innovating for Dementia. We are, in my opinion, in quite a hopeful moment of the European Alzheimer's movement. We are seeing discoveries when it comes to potentially new treatments that we hope will be made available to people with Alzheimer's disease across European countries. We have made progress when it comes to the early diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease, but also of other types of dementia. When it comes to the prevention messages, we are also now looking at research that indicates that up to 45% of all dementia causes could potentially be prevented through lifestyle changes. But for us as a European organization, it's not just about the science, it's also about how Alzheimer's disease is looked at through and from society. So innovation is not just about science, innovation is also really how society is making sure that we become more inclusive of people living with Alzheimer's disease, making sure that they are full and integral parts of our societies. And what I'm particularly proud of as an organization is that we are trying to really make sure that we are reaching out to very often underrepresented populations, so that we want to make sure that people from ethnic minorities are duly involved in our activities, in our research. We want to make sure that people from the LGBTQ community are duly recognized and are able to participate in our events. And of course also gender, intellectual disability are all topics that for us make part of this topic of innovation in dementia.
Yes, Jean, you took the words right out of my mouth, but for me it's really important because we have to be clear, innovation for dementia is about much more than new treatments. Innovation means also finding better ways to support people with dementia in their daily lives. In recent years, we have seen a lot of changes, really. And I remember back then in 1982, it was the year my grandmother died with dementia. The word dementia, the term dementia, wasn't known to anybody. And the term Alzheimer only was used in bad jokes, unfortunately. Till then, a lot of things has changed. And the powerful movement of nothing about us without us is no longer just a slogan, and this is I'm also very proud of. It's shaping real and meaningful change. So as we look forward, innovation is also about shifting societal attitudes and embracing new technologies to empower people with dementia to live their life more independently. As this is where innovation truly shines, not just in treatments, but only in day-to-day quality of life. So it's about creating a society where the voices of people with dementia and their carers are heard, valued, and acted upon. This is what a real dementia-inclusive society is made of. And I think this year's conference is really a powerful platform to engage and to inspire in new approaches and in a broad range of topics. Of course, including new treatments, but going much more beyond as well.
I think you've just listened to us, giving us a flair of what you can be expecting over the next days at this conference. We also just want to get a quick idea of who we are talking to. We have prepared a Menti question, so if you could make sure that you scan the app, because we would like to get an understanding of who you are. So basically what you need to do is ask if we are able to do that. So this is the Menti. If you could, you see the codes and also the QR code. And then the very first question that we would like to find out is, who are you? And the question could be, are you a person with dementia? Are you a carer or family member of somebody with dementia? Are you a health or social care professional, a volunteer or staff member of an Alzheimer's association, a researcher or academic, an industry representative, or policymaker and governmental official? Well, you're a very responsive group, because we have over 200 people that have already responded to this poll, and you can see that really it's researchers and academics that make up the biggest part of this audience, but we also have 3% of this group that are people with dementia and 4% who are carers of somebody living with dementia. And then the second question that we would like to find out as well is just whether is this your first Alzheimer Europe Conference? Have you attended Alzheimer Europe conferences virtually, or have you attended one or more of our in-person Alzheimer Europe conferences? So again, over 300 people that have already responded to this. If I could just see the
The results.
The results
Interesting.
again.
Yeah. Oh, I think it was 55%.
There you go,
already.
55% who have already
Yeah.
attended, but also 45% of people for whom this will be their very first Alzheimer Europe Conference. So a big welcome that you have decided to join us here in Geneva. We hope that this will not be the only time that you will be attending our conferences, but that this will be a start of you coming to a lot of future events of Alzheimer Europe.
And if it's not for the conference, it's for the cheese and the chocolate.
That would be very
This
good
is a
reason
running
as well.
gag since last year's conference. I had to make it at least once. Thank you. Okay, so shall we go with the last question as well? Because
Yeah, we can also have the
answered it as
question
well.
about the country that you're from. So that's also a quick question.
Oh, Netherlands. Yeah.
You have Netherlands
Very-
and the Netherlands, so that's also interesting that where people are from. Switzerland, UK, Norway, Scotland, Luxembourg. So it's really
Estonia.
fantastic to see how many people are represented and how many countries. If our statistics are correct, we have 967 participants from 42 European countries. So really a very nice and fantastic turnout. And it's great to see so many of you here in Geneva.
Yes, thank you so much for giving us a little bit more about yourself and your the information. Now we know where we are, where you are here in the room, and now I think it's time to welcome our first speaker, who will provide her opening comments and formally opening the conference. Sehr geehrte Damen und Herren, es ist mir eine große Ehre.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, it is a great joy and honor for me to introduce Salome von Greyerz to you for her word of welcome. She's the head of healthcare and related professions division at the Federal Office of Public Health. And her collaboration is so precious for the further development of healthcare in Switzerland, but particularly within the context of dementia. Salome von Greyerz will welcome you in German. Salome, thank you very much for being here with us. Yes, thank you very much, Stefanie, for this nice welcoming. Dear official guests, dear organizers of Alzheimer Switzerland, Alzheimer Europe. For me, it was a pleasure to come today from Bern to Geneva in order to represent the Federal Office of Public Health. We're also very pleased that this year's conference is taking place in Switzerland. I took a look at the event venues of the last years, and if we would draw these on a map of Europe and create a network, it would be an impressive network. Helsinki in the far north, Barcelona in the southwest, Bucharest in the east, and now Geneva, and many, many other cities in between, who throughout the years became connected with each other. And so, this conference for me should be particularly about connections. I'm thinking not primarily about the connections between nerve cells, which break down in case of Alzheimer's dementia, which are reduced, but particularly about the connections between people with dementia and their relatives, friends, neighbors. These connections are important and they need to be upheld and strengthened through good framework conditions. However, I'm also thinking of connections between professionals from different fields, disciplines, institutions, levels of government and countries. Professionals who are committed to ensuring that people with dementia and their families receive better support, care and treatment. These connections can be fostered by this year's conference. And from connections, networks emerge. Local networks that support and care for people with dementia and relieve the burden on their families. Care networks in which various health professionals come together and coordinate their services. And last but not least, the knowledge and research networks in which experiences are shared and new services and treatment options are developed. It is only together with sustainable networks that we can meet the challenges ahead of us. This is why the Federal Office of Public Health has launched 3.5 years ago the National Dementia Platform. Just like this conference on an international level, on a European level, the key stakeholders within Switzerland can network over this national dementia platform. This, in a federate state such as Switzerland is, this is particularly important because it is, in Switzerland it is the cantons and the municipalities which are primarily responsible for health care, for the care of people with dementia. On a national level, the Federal Office of Public Health can create connections. We can start to weave threads which can then be continued by the different stakeholders. And it is in this manner that the different stakeholders can learn from each other and develop solutions together. I would like to illustrate this by an example. At the center, at the heart of all our activities of the federal level, the cantons, the municipalities, we have as a goal, a priority and activity to improve the life quality of people with dementia and of their family members. To achieve this goal on a cantonal level, the Canton of Zurich has founded a foundation with projects for a good co-living of people with or without dementia. And the city of Zurich on the municipal level, now, with the support of this foundation, they have a consulting service, increasingly low level, per neighborhoods in order to facilitate access for consulting services. The responsibles of the canton and the city of Zurich now have the possibility to share the experience which they have made in this project, to share it over this platform of dementia with other colleagues from other cantons, with other cities, so that everybody can profit from it. This also leads to new connections and ultimately better framework conditions for all those affected, because good framework conditions are just as important as networks. By this, I'm thinking particularly of framework conditions regarding sufficient and well-trained nursing staff. But I'm also thinking about a strong, well-networked and easily accessible primary care system which includes all healthcare professions. And last but not least, I'm also thinking about the topic of the health provisional advanced care planning for a cautious raising awareness in advance, so early conversations about the wishes and needs in this final phase of life. This provides for security both for people with dementia, but also for their families. Now, in concluding, I would like to emphasize that in the care of people with dementia and the support of their family members, in these past years, we have achieved a lot already in the past years. A lot is running well, but there is still potential for improvement. In order to be able to use this very well, we need good connections, strong networks, good framework conditions, and the international exchange. And so the 34th European Alzheimer's Conference here in Geneva will also contribute to improve the quality of life of people with dementia and their families. It is in this spirit that I would like to sincerely thank you for being here, that you have come to Switzerland, to Geneva, in order to open up new horizons, to share innovative approaches in dealing with dementia, and to create new connections. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Frau van Greyerz, for this important reminder to all of us about the importance of linking, collaboration, and networking. And I think an event like this is absolutely at the core dedicated to that kind of networking. The second speaker will actually be Lukas Engelberger. He is a member of the Executive Council of the Canton of Basel-Stadt, but he's also the president of the Swiss Conference of the Cantonal Ministers of Public Health. He is unfortunately unable to attend himself here today, but he is sending a video message, and that video message will be in English. So for those of you that need translation, don't forget to use the headphones.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Dear State Councillor Botello, representing the Republic and Canton of Geneva, dear Mrs. von Greyerz of the Federal Office of Public Health, dear organizers, friends, representatives from Alzheimer Switzerland and Alzheimer Europe. It is inspiring to see experts from all over Europe come together in Geneva and work together to improve the lives of people with dementia. There has been encouraging news recently. The development of new treatments is making progress. There is reason to hope that they will slow down the progression of Alzheimer's, the most common cause of dementia. And there are apparently approaches that allow dementia to be diagnosed at an earlier stage. This could be crucial for those affected. Unfortunately, however, there is still no cure for dementia, but it is within our power to reduce the risk of developing the disease. Exercise, social contact and mental activity have a positive impact on brain health. I am sure that this conference should give you plenty of opportunity to focus on these factors. In Switzerland, the 26 cantons bear the constitutional responsibility for providing healthcare to the population. Our goal is to ensure that everyone with dementia has access to good care and treatment. However, we also want to improve the quality of life of their relatives. This is because the approximately 150,000 persons with dementia in Switzerland are often supported, cared for and looked after by relatives and other close persons. So family counseling is more and more important. Ladies and gentlemen, the Swiss healthcare system is federally organized. Each and every canton can develop new services, and then others can benefit from the experiences gained. The role of the Swiss Conference of the Cantonal Ministers of Public Health is to promote this exchange between the cantons. We also support cooperation between the cantons and the Confederation. When it comes to dementia, this cooperation takes place within the framework of a national platform. The platform, which was established in 2021, is organized bottom-up. The aim is to ensure the best possible connection to the grassroots. In this way, knowledge is incorporated from those who are confronted with the challenges of dementia in their daily practice. I wish you, ladies and gentlemen, a fruitful exchange of knowledge and experience over the next 3 days. Thank you very much for your commitment and best regards to Geneva.
Our thanks goes to Lukas Engelberger as well, and that he took the time to record this message for us. So, maintenant, j'ai le plaisir d'accueillir notre prochain intervenant.
And now I have the pleasure to welcome our next speaker, who is Pierre Maudet. Pierre Maudet is State Councillor of the Canton of Geneva, and he is head of the Department for Health and Mobility. A very warm welcome, Monsieur Maudet. Thank you so much for being here with us. Yes, thank you very much. Also on my behalf, thank you for the opportunity to express some words of welcome in my function as the, so to say, the Health Minister of the Canton of Geneva. Very warm welcome here to Switzerland. And in Switzerland, we love experiments, laboratories on the cantonal level. You are now in the Canton of Geneva, and we are quite proud of having some success in the research on Alzheimer. And we will have very concrete examples this afternoon, tomorrow. And I would also like to represent the authorities of Geneva in order to welcome you here. For us, it is very precious to have the 34th Conference of Alzheimer taking place here. We're very proud also because the 34th edition also shows the perspective, the evolution of our activity in the Swiss healthcare policy, the European healthcare policy, excuse me, but it is also the possibility to exchange between the civil society, the researchers, all key players, concerned, and of course also the various key players of the political sphere. Now, for Geneva, we have 3 goals in regards to Alzheimer. The first one, the one which is best known, is the one which probably requires the most financial resources. This is the challenge of caring for the patients. Now, with the university hospitals in Geneva, we are proud of having the capacity of receiving, treating, but also in connection with these hospitals across the whole associated tissue, so to say, the capacity of accompanying people who are suffering of Alzheimer. Now, to care is a challenge, but it cannot only be the only challenge. A further one is to accompany people, to include people who are suffering of dementia. So for our department, we have invested quite a lot of funds, and we have also been able to realize quite some success, for example, in regards to the police, decision makers, policy decision makers, private actors in this whole system, and this enables us to imagine a better integration throughout the whole society. Then, thirdly, it is also a challenge in regards to prevention. So the capacity to prevent and to delay the resurgence of this disease, which can potentially be very interesting. So the Professor Giovanni Frisoni, who is here, the hospitals of Geneva, I think Giovanni Frisoni will be presenting tomorrow to you what are the perspectives which open up through this research. Geneva will be investing 1.5 million over the next few years in different measures, algorithms, biomarkers, in order to detect a population which is healthy but at risk, in order to have an early detection, to be able to prevent, to delay, to care for. So these are the various challenges that we are dealing with, that I'm sure will also be a topic over these next few days. Again, a very warm welcome. Have a wonderful time also, and a lot of satisfaction out of the discussions and exchanges. And I'm hoping that out of these 3 days we will have results which will facilitate the 35th conference then next year on prevention and complete treatment of Alzheimer. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. State Councillor, for this welcoming presentation.
In the Vugt, she's the chairperson of the INTERDEM network. I already mentioned them at the beginning, a real important partner organization of Alzheimer Europe. And it's always a pleasure to welcome you and a lot of your colleagues here in Geneva. We look forward to hearing your words to welcome the delegates.
Thank you very much, dear audience. Bonjour. Incredible to stand here today, in front of such a big audience. It seems to get bigger and bigger every year, Jean, I believe. And yet, as I look around, I see so many familiar faces here, colleagues and friends that I had the pleasure to meet at these conferences over the years. And not long ago, around World Alzheimer's Day, I stood in front of a much smaller audience to talk about my research. And that night, the audience was filled with familiar faces too, but from a different time in my life. I had returned to the town where I spent my years in high school, and among the crowd were my family and friends from those years. Friends who are now, like many of us, facing dementia in their own families, particularly in their parents, and it was kind of a special night for me. You could say it was a golden moment, filled with shared memories, reflections on the journeys we've all taken over the years. And this experience made me realize that no matter the size of the audience or the setting, the work we do and the conversations we have about dementia are often personal to us. Dementia affects us all in some way, whether through our patients, our researchers, or in the lives of our families or friends. And much like the Swiss Alps that surround us here in Geneva, the challenges we face in dementia can often feel like high mountains, overwhelming and seemingly insurmountable. But as with any mountain, the summit is never reached in a single leap, but with steady, deliberate steps. And in my work at the memory clinic in Maastricht, in the Netherlands, I see firsthand how living with dementia and supporting someone who does can feel like standing on the foot of a mountain, unsure of where to begin. Families and friends often feel powerless, facing a future that seems full of uncertainty. But what I've learned is that breaking the journey down into small, manageable steps helps create a path forward. And with each step, the view changes, and golden moments can occur. Powerful moments of connection, fulfillment, or other silver linings that make the climb feel lighter. And these moments may not change everything, but they bring hope or resilience, and sometimes that is enough to keep going. And this year's theme of the conference, New Horizons, Innovating for Dementia, invites us to think about the new possibilities and innovations we can bring into dementia. But innovation isn't always about big leaps. It's often about small steps, daily interventions, personal touches that make the most significant difference. And it's in that spirit of innovation that it's a special year for INTERDEM as we celebrate our 25th years of collaboration already and growth. What began as a small initiative has expanded into a network of over 600 researchers across Europe and a close collaboration with Alzheimer Europe, working together to push the boundaries of psychosocial research and care. And we now have 8 dedicated task forces facilitating collaboration on topics such as young onset dementia, technology, methodology, and intercultural aspects. And special thanks goes to our founding mother, Professor Esme Monis-Cook, whose vision and initiative set this network in motion. Esme, your foresight has helped us achieve remarkable progress, and we continue to build on that legacy every day. At INTERDEM, our focus is on taking small steps, actionable steps, to improve the daily lives of people with dementia, and whether it's fostering resilience, supporting cognitive health, or improving social health, we believe that every step, no matter how small, contributes to well-being in dementia. And these steps, when taken consistently, lead to those golden moments that offer comfort, meaning, and well-being in individuals and families alike. But climbing a mountain is never easy, and dementia presents a complex challenge, and this requires multiple paths forward, not just one. And at times, our field feels divided. Some are critical, while others are optimistic about recent biomedical advancements. These breakthroughs have sparked passionate debates over whether or not their benefits are overestimated. While these scientific advancements create much needed hope, it's equally important to remain realistic about what these breakthroughs actually mean in practice here and now. Even so, we must recognize that we need all paths forward, psychosocial innovations, risk reduction strategies, and medical advancements, working together in our collective climb to a better future. And collaboration between psychosocial and biomedical researchers is essential if we are to address the full spectrum of needs. And we must ensure that we offer all of these paths, not as competing strategies, but as complementary ones. The spirit of INTERDEM has always been about collaboration, and this year INTERDEM is very proud also to have its own stand at the conference for the first time, so thank you also for that, Jean. Please come and find us at the booth 12 here on the first floor during the breaks. We love to chat, share ideas, and explore new ways to collaborate in our ongoing journey to improve dementia. And before I close, I'd like to invite you all to take a moment and think about one golden moment you have experienced recently in your work or life. Perhaps it was a moment of connection with someone, a memorable conversation, or an unexpected breakthrough in your research. Hold on to that moment and that memory and let it remind you why we're all here today, to create more of these moments for more people in every step we take forward. Thank you, Alzheimer Europe, especially to Jean and Gladys for their continuous support to our INTERDEM network. Thank you to my colleagues of INTERDEM, especially Rabi Chata, who has always been patient and perseverant in organizing our meetings here at Alzheimer Europe. And thank you for your willingness to make every step count. Thanks.
So, thank you so much, Thanks to all the speakers of the opening ceremony for all the welcoming and warm words and the important aspects you tackled already. So now, as the conference is formally open, I think it's a pleasure to have 2.5 days full of inspiring and interesting meetings and exchanges for networking and for making new friends and meeting old friends.
And just a last word also from my side before we finishing with this opening ceremony. A big thank you to Stefanie and the whole team of Alzheimer Switzerland. I think it was a fantastic collaboration to make this happen, and the numbers that we have here today really show how well our collaboration has been. So a big thank you to you for the really great collaboration.
Thank you. Same is here. Thank you.